Kenya is a key player in the global industry. We are among the top 3 flower producers in the world. And our competitors are basically Colombia, Ecuador, and Ethiopia. We boast of a very strategic point and position in the world. We are best geographically placed to serve, most markets in the world, like the Europe and the Middle East, amongst others. So that is one of the things that we boast of as Kenya. We also have a very good climate. Our flowers are grown under the sun. And also the expertise that are with the Kenyan people in terms of flower growing. At KFC, we say we are the home of the best flower growers in the world. We supply 60 destinations in the whole world, with 40% of what we produce in the industry going to the European market. And we are a key player because we contribute about 1% to the Kenya's GDP. And we are also amongst the top foreign exchange earners for the country. So the industry enjoys a very good demand. And one of the things also that makes us supply this is because we have all year supply of flowers. Our production runs throughout the year. So there's no time that you'll come to Kenya and find there's maybe a deficit in the production. So this positions us to supply the whole world. And part of the things is our industry has been marked with a shift towards sustainability. This is both market-driven and also from the local industry, because we realize the benefit of being sustainable, and we are looking at it as part of our strategic positioning in making the industry flourish. So part of the challenges that we've experienced in the past are legislation, both within the country and out. We've also experienced compliance and regulation issues, especially with the stringent EU regulations, and also phytosanitary requirements. Other things also lie in sustainability. We've had to do a lot of research with our partners in just generally finding out what works best. And the one thing that we can talk of authoritatively is that our growers grow their flowers sustainably. We have the KFC Flowers and Ornamental Sustainability Standard, commonly known as KFC Silver in the market. This standard basically checks on social, environmental, and good agricultural practices. So we mark this on audits with our farms and just making sure that our growers grow their flowers sustainably. This is something that we've been able to work around. But before that, we had to do a lot of research and just basically checking on what works where. Yeah. There's also cold chain management. We've had challenges there because you find in the value chain from production to transit, there are loopholes that have been there, but that have posed a challenge to the product quality, amongst others. Then climate change has also posed a challenge in terms of carbon footprint and just generally maintaining that at a considerably okay level. Then logistics is also a challenge on our end because what has happened is in the industry, we've had high freight costs. Most of the industry is supplied via air freight. And so we've had high freight costs coming from that. And part of it also has also been the Red Sea war that is now there, and it's hampering logistics. As much as we have all these challenges, we have to admit the fact that logistics plays a very key role in the flower value chain. I mean, it determines how the product comes from the grower up to the market and vice versa. And also how we import our inputs if we need to, or how we get our inputs. So a good logistic structure is very important. And one of the things that we are looking into right now, these logistical challenges, part of what has really hampered the industry, is really hampering the industry, is the Red Sea crisis. And this has increased the turnaround time. I mean, we've been trying to promote sea freight as an option to air freight in terms of transporting flowers, but the Red Sea crisis has come in from transporting the cargo from Kenya through the Red Sea and Suez Canal. We are now using the Cape of Good Hope, which is a longer transit distance. And so we have higher transit times because of that. The other thing that has come to play is the fact that we have high freight costs. I mean, with a longer distance, it becomes more expensive. And I think the logistics persons who are in the room can attest to that. and they can give more in-depth information. There's also port congestion. One of the transshipment ports we've been using is Jeddah, which is squarely at the Red Sea. And so you find that because we don't have like so many ports on the line, the alternative route, we have congestion at the ports. And also inflation has come to play in all this. So these are the key challenges that we're having right now with logistics in the country. And this has also resulted in commodity shortages in terms of even like the product getting to the market in good time and just generally serving the market the way it was doing. So apart from that, we've had several things that as KFC we've been involved in to just provide a solution to our growers with regards to logistics. So we've been working hand in hand with the key bodies like the Kenya Ports Authority to promote sea freight. And part of the things that we are now looking at, we have a general shift. We are looking at maybe by the year 2030 to have like a 50% of our growers using sea freight, or 50% of the flowers being transported going via sea. And then we are looking at this because also it has less carbon emissions. And just generally, if the transit time is reduced when everything else is resolved, it gives a better product at the end of the day. So out of this, we've been working with the partners who have come in to ensure that the logistics has been smoothened. So we now have, Kenya Railways now have new wagons, about 500 new wagons to facilitate the transport of flowers from Nairobi to the port, or from different ICDs to the port. And out of these, 20 of the wagons are chilled. So this means that flower quality will not reduce, they'll be plugged in. And then our whole process is automated. So the documentation process from the start to the end is automated. So this makes it easier. We don't use paper. It's paperless, so it's easier to work around, and the footprint is lower. Then also in Mombasa ICD, we have 540 plug points for the flowers. So this means that even if the flowers are waiting to be loaded onto the ships, they are well plugged in, and the quality does not reduce. And this plug-in point at the Mombasa ICD, there's also a 24-hour generator, just in case there's a power surge or anything like that. So in the Naivasha ICD, we have 24 plug points, which also makes it easier for the cargo the produce to stay fresh. And then all this improve the fresh produce and just the quality of the flowers as they are plugged on. So we've also been part of what we call the BIP project. This is the Business, Environment and Export Enhancing Program that is being run by Trademark Africa. And this program is focusing on different value chains, cut flowers being part of it. The others are fruits like mangoes, avocados. And what they're doing is enhancing trade, looking at all the issues that come with the logistics, the logistics bit of the value chain. And I think it has been a very important program to be part of. And part of the things is there's a logistics working group that looks into the various angles and the various challenges that the industry has been going through, and just seeing how we can leverage on sea freight as a viable option for flower transport. So by the year 2030, we are hoping to have climbed up to 50%, as we are seeing in the graph. Right now, we are doing about slightly less than 10%. And of course, the war has also contributed to a surge in this number. It has really reduced the number of containers that are carrying flowers to different destinations. So part of also the BIP, we are looking at policies and incentives to support infrastructure with regards to logistics, and just collaborating also with government and other private agencies on this, and just seeing how we can have a more efficient transport system that will ensure that our growers are well served and that the product gets to the market in the best condition. So apart from this, as I mentioned, KFC has been in the middle of all these discussions and has played a very vital role in bringing together the industry, and also just harnessing and just seeing the growers, where the pain points are for the growers, and just bringing them up to the relevant partners. So part of what we do are advocacy. We also do training, advocacy and partnerships, which I've mentioned, I think, in general. We also do trainings, capacity building for our growers. We also do information sharing. We work with several bodies across the board. There's KEFIS, I know they are around. There's also the PCPB, and as well as other bodies like the HCD, Horticultural Crop Directorate, amongst others. So we share a lot of information across the industry and just look into what benefits the whole industry. We also handle compliance. As I mentioned, we have the KFC Flowers and Ornamental Sustainability Standard, which is the KFC Silver. And this one audits against the social, environmental, and good agricultural practice. We also do a lot of trade facilitation and market access for our growers. So part of it is through conferences like this one, the Flower Logistics Conference, amongst others that are held all over the world. We have conferences in trade expos in Nairobi here, like the biggest one comes in June every year, which is the IFTEX, the Flower Trade Expo. We have another one in Amsterdam. We also participate in many others, in Korea and different other parts of the world.